guys, it's Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then I post story times, challenges, all that jazz on this channel, and on my other channel, Music by Ally, I post singing videos, like covers and original songs, so subscribe, join the Ally crew, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. I'm going to be telling these stories in two different parts because they're two different stories about two different guys, and out of respect I'm not going to say their names, out of respect for them and out of respect for myself. The first story happened 2 years ago, so now I'm comfortable talking about it. I actually kind of mentioned this in my previous story time called The Worst Crush That I've Ever Had, and that video has been taken down from my channel now. But I'm going to be going into more detail now. Not all of the details because, as I said, I respect his privacy and my own. I'll start here. From the first day of school, then I was placed at a table with him. And so we sat at the same table and started talking to each other because everybody at that table that I sat at with 4 people, then we just got along. So I would have considered him at the time a friend or like a close acquaintance. And then when we moved seats, then I still sat next to him, so we just continued to talk. It got kind of awkward when I started to realize that I liked him as like a little more than a friend. So at the time that I realized that I liked him, then one of my friends was dating him, and she didn't even really like him. She just felt bad for him. So when she heard that I liked him, that gave her a good excuse to break up with him. And she broke up with him by telling him, because I gave her permission, that I liked him, because I was scared to tell myself, but I kind of guess I wanted him to know. I just felt like shooting my shot. Bad decision. So he reached out to me first after he learned about my feelings, and he was like, hey, your friend told me. And I was like, yeah, I kind of told her that she could tell you. And so first we were just kind of talking, and suddenly I felt like I was in a trap because the messages escalated into something that they shouldn't have gone into. This might be kind of hard to explain, but on my Instagram, then I had posted these like polls, or not polls, you could just, it's one of those things where you slide how much you like it. I posted a bunch of stories for that, for these outfits that I had picked out for fall, just for fun. Like, I wasn't gonna really wear all the outfits, I just felt like putting these fall outfits up on my Instagram. So then he sent me a text saying like, put on one of those outfits right now so I can rate them for real. And I don't even know why, but I just put it on. I think I was just trying to satisfy the guy that I liked, because it was like that moment like where he knew I liked him and I was just trying to do my best to win him over, like before me like him became something like irrelevant. So I put it on and stuff, and I took the photo for him, and he said that it looked pretty, but then he left an inappropriate comment on my body. At the time, I was weirded out, but not as weirded out as I should have been. So, for some reason I continued talking to him, but I think I was like okay then, and I was kind of like confused with why he just suddenly started coming on and acting strange. So then he started to say to me, oh, this is not strange, like, I'm a teenage boy and there's no telling what I'll do when my hormones take control. At least he was willing to admit that he was acting strange, but that didn't give him an excuse to be coming at me like that when I was like 12. I was only 12 when this happened to me. The time that I told him was actually over a mini break, so I think we had like a 4-day weekend. So for that whole weekend we were texting back and forth, and the next day, now this I don't even understand why I did. I asked him for a photo of himself, like a normal photo, because I don't know why, I just kind of was thinking, oh, this guy I like, I want a photo of him. And honestly guys, I have no clue why I asked, because that's just kind of, that was kind of weird on my part, not inappropriately weird, just weird. And I asked him for a photo of himself so I could save it to my camera roll. So then he said, okay, then you send a photo of yourself too. So anyway, I spent 20 minutes trying to take this good photo from a good angle. Spoiler alert, the photo was horrible. Like, looking back at it now, I'm just like, ew. It was atrocious. And so he sent me his photo too. And I guess it was weird, but normal, I guess. Like, in terms of how appropriate it was just just normal photos of ourselves. Like mine was of my face, his was of like a little mirror selfie of himself. But then he asked me, he was like, can you send a different photo, like a different kind of photo? And I was like, what do you mean? And then he said, like, maybe like a bikini photo. And I was like, what? And then he was like, just to satisfy my hormones, please do this for your boyfriend. And I was like, boyfriend? At the time I was like, wait, what is he saying? But then he said, if we start to date. And then he was like, if we date, then he said, I'll give you everything you want. I'll never ask you for anything again if you just send me these photos. And I was like, no. Because like at least I stood my ground on that part, because I have always grown up in an innocent Christian home, and I was not taught to do these kind of things. And he was here begging me for, like, even asking me for bikini photos and making rude comments on my body. Then that was all different to me. Like, I never heard of anything like that before, and I was freaked out. I was weirded out. I was like, I'm in this trap. Like, what do I do? But guys, if someone's sending you like really weird messages, tell an adult. I know it might seem like you might be wondering what the repercussions are going to be. They're definitely better than just sitting and getting the weird messages. So anyway, that went on, and he was also like toying with my feelings at the same time he was doing this, like saying, oh, you're pretty and stuff. Like, I don't know, I might like you. Like, but then he was also saying he liked this other girl, so then he was like, no, like, I don't know, I might like you, I might like her, I can't really tell. So I was just kind of feeling like, figure out your own emotions before you come messing with mine. But at the same time, I kind of did walk into this. After he would send these weird messages, each time he would be like, oh my gosh, you're so gullible, I got you, I was just joking. So I really didn't know whether or not I should be taking him seriously. But then, like, after he would say that, then he'd be like, but really, it's not weird. I do have hormones. So then I would I would just be like really weirded out but not know whether or not I should take him seriously. I think that's part of the reason I didn't immediately like report it, because I was just kind of like I shouldn't have stuck around to try and see if he was joking or not, but at the time, like, I didn't want to start something if it was really nothing. Since he kept saying that he was kidding about these things, I asked him, were you kidding about saying I was pretty and stuff too? Like, don't play with my emotions and all these things. And he was like, no, you are pretty, but I like this other girl. And I think I was just kind of like, okay, wow, you wasted my whole weekend. But kind of I wasted my own weekend too. For the rest of the time that I liked him, which was sadly 2 months, he would just manipulate me. Like, one mistake that I know that I made, or I made several mistakes, but a major mistake that I made was telling him that I like people for a really long time, so, like, even if you do something bad to me, I'm probably gonna still like you, because that's just how I am. Like, I shouldn't have told him that, and I shouldn't have been that way either. So, that's basically what he did. Anything he wanted to do to me, and he really took that line to heart. I even remember him saying things specifically to try and hurt my feelings, because I started being bullied during the time that I liked him, and he would, like, contribute to it. Like, he would say the kind of things people were saying to me, and he would, like, just one small example is that he told me I look like a clown just because I put on makeup and stuff, and he would be saying that, well, what they're saying isn't not true, like, you are ugly, and it was just, I have no clue why I continue to like him. So, finally, at, like, towards the end of the time that I stopped liking him, like, I was finally trying to stand my ground and say, like, this has been a waste of the past 2 months of my life. I don't like you anymore. And he actually would tell me, oh, no, you still like me, you're just trying to deny it, you're just trying to say that you don't, but you still like me. So then for some reason I would play along and be like, yeah, I do still like you, and then I would just keep liking him. But one day in class, I just remember that, like, he spent, like, the whole time, he was like, no, you still like me, and I was like, no, I don't. Like, I was fed up, I was done. And then, like, he kept saying, like, no, you still like me, oh, you just don't want to admit it. And then at the end of class, he walked out and said to me,
get it through your skull, I don't like you.
And let me tell you, I was livid. I was like, first of all, that's what I've been trying to say to you the whole time. Second of all, like, you think, like, your ego's so big that you think this bothers me. At a time it would have, but it didn't at this point. After all he had done to me, I have no clue why I even liked him for that long. Just other things happened after that for, like, the rest of the year. Like, for instance, he'd be body shaming me, telling me about how flat I am. Although he was the same one who was making inappropriate comments on my body few months before. And also, shortly after I liked him, or I don't know if it was like before I stopped liking him or something, but it was towards the end of that whole period where those things were happening. Then I posted these lyrics from a song that I wrote. The song wasn't specifically about him, it was more just about my life in general, because I said I started getting bullied around that time, and my life, I just felt in general, was a mess. But some lyrics in it kind of sound like they were directed at a person, so I just posted some lyrics on my story, because sometimes I post lyrics to my songs, because I'm a songwriter, and he swiped up and responded like,
I'm dying. Lympho.
you guys know what that is. Livid. He just made me mad in general, and like looking back, I'm like, why did I like him for so long? Why did I waste that period of my life on a douchebag? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was kind of a crazy story. Guys, if somebody's doing these kind of things to you, don't ignore the red flags. Don't like them. And tune into part 2 about another crazy crush that I had, because you would have thought that I learned from this one being crazy. But I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to like and subscribe. Subscribe to my other channel. Subscribe to my sister's channel, The Lay Life. I think that she actually has a crazy crush story time that either came out or is coming out, depending on when this video uploads. But love you guys, and I'm out.